Shnkaracharandaridharasamarambam Nityanandeshwari madhyamam Asmadacharyaparyantam Vande Guru Paramparam. इस समय हमारे साथ उपस्थित सभी दर्शकों और भक्तों का मैं प्रेम एवं आशीर्वाद सहित स्वागत करता हूँ. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today, Navaratri celebrations 8th day, Ashtami Maha Utsava, and Venkateshwara is gracing us on the horse, riding the horse. Venkateshwara is gracing us, and Devi is gracing in the expression of Mahishasura Mardini with 18 hands destroying the demon Mahishasura with Saraswati and Lakshmi. You can see one side Devi gracing, other side Venkateshwara gracing on the Ashwavagana, on the horse. Today the 20th batch Inner Awakening 16th day, 17th batch Ingenious 16th day, 19th batch Nirahara Samyama level 3 5th day, 20th Nirahara Samyama, 20th batch Nirahara Samyama break. We will start tomorrow the 20th batch 3rd level, 9th batch Di Samyama 16th day. And today we have two important things. One, the Sandhya Puja at the time of Ashtami and Navami joining, when Mahishasura was killed by Durga. That Sandhya Puja, very important puja is there. I welcome all the devotees to join Nityananda TV. It will be live relayed, and today we have a very important session in reality. The whole Inner Awakening is about how to destroy the Mahishasura inside you. I'll answer your questions on the subject of completion.
We have a question today on how do I practically apply the truth? Completion is not about being in acceptance, but completion is about being in the space of no resistance.
The question, how do I practically apply the truth? Completion is not about being in acceptance, but completion is about being in the space of no resistance. The first point of contact where any external informations get integrated into you as an understanding or cognition as part of you, which is your default cognition, means your usual way of understanding. See, your regular way of understanding, cognizing always tells you life should not be this way. Please understand, it's like when you order a pizza, who receives it before bringing it to your table is very important. If some worker who has come to clean your drainage system, cleaning your septic tank, if he receives with his bare hand and brings it to your table, will you be able to eat? So unfortunately, whenever life comes to your door, you receive it with a dirty hand of life should not be this way. And after that, whatever you do, you practice spiritual truths, teachings to change this cognition. Whatever you do, it will only be a struggle. Listen, after your worker who is cleaning the drainage, your Goshala, I think drainage is the right thing. Goshala is also sacred. Who cleans your drainage, goes with a bare hand, handles the pizza and brings it to your table and serves. After that, how much ever you clean the pizza, will you be able to eat? Understand? The first touch life receives from you, you give it to life is very important. If the first touch is transformed, after that whatever happens will be completion. If the first touch is dirty, the resistance, life should not be this way, then whatever you do, please listen, whatever you do will only be a struggle, struggling practice, struggling spiritual practice. So all I am trying to tell you is, drop handling life, stop handling life with dirty hands. Drop this pattern of handling life with dirty hands. Understand? Once you handle the food with the dirty hands, how much ever you wash, it will only be struggling to clean. You will never be able to eat it again. When your default cognition transforms from this is not to this is it, now what? Then you move to the space of no resistance. Listen. I am not saying accept. For example, if you are afraid of poverty, somebody steals all your wealth, I am not saying accept. No. All I am trying to tell you is, don't start handling that information. It should not be this way. No. This is it. Now what? How many of you are understanding the difference? Start, then you will understand how it directly helps you. Start, then you will understand. This no resistance, but does not mean acceptance. No resistance does not mean acceptance. Because acceptance will always be a rejected theology if you logically analyze it. If you logically try to accept and try, finally your inner space will only reject that theology, that theory. Acceptance is the most non-accepted theory. It's not practically possible. It is not practically possible. The first point of contact where any external information gets integrated into your default cognition. For example, I'll give you one example. Smoking is injurious to health. This is one information. Fire burns you. This is another one information. This fire burns you The moment you experience once, immediately that becomes your default cognition. After that, anywhere you see fire, you move out. You keep your body out. So now, the fire burns you has become default cognition. But smoking is injurious to health. After knowing this, after smoking once and coughing, or after smoking once and doctor says it is not good for your health, if it has not become your default cognition, what it means? You are struggling with the truth, with that information. How many of you are able to cognize what I am saying? Now, this example will give you the understanding how the default cognitions are formed, how the information is integrated into you, how the information is digested, assimilated, made part of you. Now, you start handling any information. Life should not be this way. You have put the information in the wrong queue. So it's like temples usually have two queues, VIP darshan and Sarva darshan. Everyone gets darshan and VIPs get darshan. VIPs pay a little money and get darshan and they go a little quick. Continuously all Hindu organizations ask my opinion about this procedure. Maybe surprising, but I stand for VIP queue darshan. And I support this idea of VIP queue darshan. I have my own reasons. I'll explain. See, I am dead against a system. In some temples they practice the VIPs can go near the deity, others cannot go near the deity. That I am dead against. I am very clear about it. But VIP is having shorter queue when everyone else is having a longer queue. But finally both of them reach the same place and have darshan. I am all for it. Because, please understand, naturally they have taken some responsibility in the life. That is why they are VIPs. So their time, if they save it, it will be useful to the society in some way. So they going little early and having darshan, I am all for it and I support it. And even VIP darshan, paying money and having VIP darshans, I am all for it and supporting it. Only in the quality of darshan, the place where they stand, if there is a difference, that I oppose. But just it is only a question of time. I completely support it. Please understand, naturally a person with so much of commitments and responsibilities comes to the temple should be encouraged. Should be encouraged. People who are holding different positions, power, celebrities, power centers, all of them coming to the temple should be encouraged. The temple authorities should facilitate their quick darshan and safety. It has to be done. I tell you, if you put an VIP, the long darshan queue, long queue, naturally you will not be able to expect them. Practically you can't expect them to visit the temple regularly. So I strongly feel the VIP darshan is accepted and should be supported. At least non-Bai temples, I promote it. Of course, in all our temples, I make it very clear, you cannot charge any money for darshan. Darshan has to be free in all our temples. Naturally, somebody who has taken the responsibility for society, when they come, give them little attention and entertain them and take them around and give them a tour. That should be done. Anyhow, now understand the concept I am trying to explain through this example. Don't put people in wrong queue. Don't put information in wrong queue. Don't put life in the wrong side. Let the life be defending you, not prosecuting you. Please understand. Put life in the right side. If you start the first introduction itself with the life, if you start with the word, this, it should not be this way, already life becomes a prosecution and you are in the side of defense. Understand, start with the idea. Do not start with the idea, life should not be this way. Start with the idea, this is life, now what? Understand? This is life, now what? Don't start with the idea, life should not be this way. The moment you start, life should not be this way, you already put the life as a prosecution, and you are on the side of the defense. I tell you, many times the first word you utter to a person decides your relationship with that person. Am I right? Because nobody in the world has a patience to listen to your second word. They pass judgment listening to your first word. How many of you understand this? Life also passes judgment the first word you utter towards it. The first word you utter towards the life should not be, this should not be life. Understand, the first word you utter towards life should be, this is it, now what do I want to do about it? When life comes in front of you, the first, your response should be shaking the hands, not closing the hands. Preparing the fist. The moment you say, life should not be this way, you already closed your hands with a tight fist. Understand, when life happens to you, the first word should be, this is it, now what do I want to do about it? Do I want to accept it and move on? Do I want to reject it and move on? Or do I change it the way I want? You will have all these three options only when you start with the decision, this is it. The moment you start with the decision, this way life should not be, then all three choices are not there for you. I tell you again, I am defining leader. Leader is a person who always makes decisions which continues to expand more and more choices and possibilities for him. Who has the cake and eats the cake learns to how to make the cake reproduce itself. Understand? Sometimes we say, this fellow is intelligent. He has and eats both. So either you can have a cake or you can eat the cake. Intelligent people have and eat both. There are some more intelligent people. They have, eat, and make sure the cake goes on reproducing itself. I tell you, recently I was reading an article in the internet. how to make your money work for you. Usually, your default cognition tells you that life should not be this way. And after that, you apply different theories, spiritual practices, and try to change this cognition. It will all be nothing but the dirtied pizza being washed. You can understand what I am saying. How much ever you wash the pizza, along with the dirt, toppings also will go away. Then what are you going to eat? Just the bread? No. I tell you, many times when you try to apply the spiritual truth after the wrong cognition, the whole joy of the life goes away. The joy of the life goes away. That blissful moments goes away in the struggles. When you resist life with this is not how it should be. Why is he or she like this? Or why is this incident like this? Why is this place like this? He or she should not be this way. This place should not be this way. This incident should not be this way. Life should not have been this way. Now you are stuck with the internal enemy called resisting your own life. Like you are on the wrong side of life now. Life becomes now prosecution. Don't make life prosecution. When I say lose life, I don't mean they die. The people who try to prosecute me, they lose their inspiration, energy. They become lifeless. Because I always stand with life. Life always stands by my side. Understand, if life stands by your side, that is what Krishna standing by you. Krishna is being with you. Even if you have all the infrastructure, if Krishna is not with you, you lost the game. Even if you don't have any infrastructure, just if Krishna is standing with you, you won the game. Understand, non-resistance. When you deal life with a non-resistance, life is standing by you. Krishna is standing by you. And no one can win you. The opposite fellows may have all the infrastructures, morons. They may be Duryodhana and Duschadana. But I tell you, because life is standing by you, you will only win the game. Life is more intelligent, more powerful than any infrastructure possible. Because every infrastructure is built by life. Understand, every infrastructure is built by life. That is why I am telling you, life is larger, more powerful than any infrastructure. When you resist others, resist anything in your life, your real enemy is sitting inside you. Because then you are stuck with the internal enemy called your resisting thoughts, feelings and cognition inside you, and not the external enemy or the other person. Because you are broken to pieces now, the enemy easily wins. If you are integrated, enemy cannot win. You are now stuck between two enemies, the external and internal. That is when you suffer or lose. I tell you, let you not have internal enemy. I always give you the assurance you will win the external enemy. Person who does not have internal violence will win any war he takes up. Person who has internal vengeance or violence will lose in all the wars he takes up. I tell you, if you want to win any war, somehow agitate your enemy and see to it he carries vengeance towards you. You won the game. Normally you think, how can, if my enemy has a vengeance, how can I win? You don't know. I tell you the cosmic law. If he is in that space, be very clear, you won the game. Because the vengeance, anger, resistance will break him to pieces. So when the enemy is broken to pieces, know very clearly you won the game. You will win the game very simply. The enemy, if he is broken to pieces, you don't need to do anything. He himself will destroy himself. I tell you, in any game of the life, if you want to win the game, win the life, just drop violence from inside you. Do not have violence. Zero violence. Zero resistance. I tell you, what I am talking is not just spiritual truth. It is a strategy planning to wage your life, to wage war in your any war in your life. If you are waging war for health, if you are waging war for wealth, if you are waging war for peace, if you are waging war for enlightenment, if you are waging war for anything in your life, zero violence, zero resistance. This is a strategy planning, I am telling you. I won the game just with this strategy. And I wanted all of you to know there is a beautiful book. Boldly I am going to prescribe this book to all of you. Course in Miracles. There is a book. Course in Miracles. I tell you. Please listen. Whoever has written this book surely is a pure channel for the higher truth. You can call whatever name, with whatever name you want. Jesus, Shiva, Krishna, Buddha. But the author of this book was surely in the space of clairvoyance, in the space of higher consciousness. And I very strongly recommend, prescribe all our devotees to read this book, A Course in Miracles. And I sincerely recommend this book because this book gave me so many beautiful insights. This book gave me so many beautiful insights on how the non-violence and non-resistance becomes a powerful strategy for winning the game, winning the war. Whether war is waged against you or, see, sometime you start the war, sometime you are pushed to wage the war. Whatever may be the situation, whether it is war against your disease, war against your poverty, war against your broken relationships, war against your ignorance, war against your enemies, people who are trying to abuse you, destroy you, whatever may be the situation, I tell you, the zero violence and zero resistance is the best strategy. Be Krishna, a man who is in the space of romance and waging the war. Who can be in the space of romance amidst tons and tons of dead bodies? Is in the space of romance with the flute in the hip amidst tons of millions of dead bodies for which he is responsible. And he wins the war. He won the game. Please understand, a very important war strategy for your life is non-resistance and non-violence. I can tell you, Gandhi was actually complete in this one great truth. That was his strength, why he won the whole game. In this one truth of no resistance does not mean acceptance. Please understand, I am making it again very clear. No resistance does not mean acceptance. Gandhi was perfect. He perfected this one truth. He achieved completion in this one truth of no resistance and non-violence. That power, he made the whole British shiver. The whole British Empire was shivering in front of a man who is half naked, can't walk without the third leg, stick. So I wanted every one of you to understand this non-resistance is the most powerful success strategy. See, in the Course in Miracles, the book, The Course in Miracles, in some places they use acceptance because unfortunately the person who penned down is trained in English language, but that can be forgiven, that can be just overlooked, because in many other words the person is trying to explain very hard. Non-resistance does not mean acceptance. And the book will really do good to all of you guys. And that book has given me such beautiful, deep insights, especially when I was in prison. And that book and some of these Atayogic literatures were my companions, where I was sitting and planning the whole strategy. And I'm really telling you, and sincerely recommend, promote that book, Course in Miracles, for all of you to understand this concept in a very deeper way. No resistance and zero violence. That does not mean acceptance. And even this great truth revealed to me by Kalabhairava, no resistance, that does not mean I am asking you to accept. This truth itself, I am dedicating it to this author of book, The Course in Miracles. Originally the book claims there is no author, only a person who penned down. But I give my respects to all those people who penned down that beautiful book, who were source, I can say that who were the path for the higher source to reveal itself. I think if I am allowed, I will surely give them the Rishi title. They are one of the modern day Rishis who allowed the higher truths to get expressed and orated through them. All our Rishis were not authors of Vedas and Upanishads. Please understand, they were only the channels for Vedas and Upanishads. They are not authors. They are not authors. So, अब अपने जीवन को सहज रूप से सबसे पहले किस दृष्टिकोण से कैसे अनुभव करते हैं, ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण है। अधिकांश समय अब जीवन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, इसी दृष्टिकोण से ही देखते हैं। यदि आप किसी खाने वाले पदार्थ को मैले हाथों से हाथ लगाते हैं, उसके बाद आप जितना भी चाहे फिर उस खाने को आप कभी पूरी तरह साफ नहीं कर सकते हैं। कैसे कोई सत्य आपका बाग बनता है, यह महत्वपूर्ण है। उदाहरण के लिए अग्नि आपको जलाता है, इस सत्य का बोध हम सबको है, इसीलिए आप अग्नि के साथ नहीं खेलते हैं। किंतु धूम्रपान करना आपके लिए हानिकारी है, इस सत्य के साथ यदि आप जूझ रहे हैं, इसका मतलब है कि इस सत्य का बोध आपको नहीं हुआ है। जीवन ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। इसके साथ जीवन के कोई भी स्थिति को अपना परिचय ना दीजिए। जीवन अब ऐसा है, अब मुझे क्या करना चाहिए, इस प्रकार जीवन को अपने परिचय दीजिए। With this, essence of today's satsang, non-violence, non-resistance is the most powerful strategy for any success in life. If you want health, don't resist disease. I'm not saying accept disease. No. If I say accept disease, it will show that I don't have sympathy or compassion towards your suffering. No. I have deep sympathy for your suffering. And I have a deep compassion for your suffering. I am not a insensitive -- No. When I say don't resist, I don't mean accept. But when you stop resisting, the disease starts melting. The health simply blossoms. Whether it is poverty, don't resist poverty. I am not saying accept poverty. I am saying don't resist poverty. Zero resistance, non-violence is the best strategy for your success. Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nityananda.
Nityananda Dhyanapitham, Nityananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nityananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.